Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
We're delighted to extend the partnership with Go Ahead Ireland. They're an organisation that serves communities all over Dublin and helps serve our club members around the county, and it's been a brilliant partnership for the last 3 years, and we're delighted to extend for a further 2 years.
Like us, Dublin GAA are embedded in their community, so it was a really natural fit. For us, it was important to find a partner that was inclusive, but also had that community identity, and that's exactly what we found in Dublin GAA. Since we started the partnership, they've been really easy to work with, and we're really excited to continue the journey together.
In those 3 years, we actually accomplished a lot with Dublin GAA. We were privileged to be able to work with both local and national charities with them, as well as working on several GAA initiatives.
This partnership allows us to support Club League and Championship with initiatives such as our Dubs TV live streaming platform. We try and stream as many games as possible, particularly during the championship season where we can from a logistical point of view around grounds, and that is something we will continue to try and deliver over the coming years and keep enhancing club championship product and club leagues around the county across all 4 codes.
In the coming months, we're going to be continuing growing our services. And while we do that, that means that we'll be serving more GAA community clubs than ever before.
This year alone, we're going to be introducing the Development Fund for Accessibility as part of our partnership, which is going to see core infrastructure at Dublin GAA developed. In the summer, we're also introducing the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin LGFA Summer Skills Camps, which will be held in July and August.
As Dublin's best performing public bus operator, we're going to continue to work really hard on delivering for our customers and our communities.
We met down at Fairview, and Kieran's brother was a friend of my brother's. We met through them, so when I was coming up to the Debs, I invited Kieran to my Debs. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes, so long as our firstborn child played for Vincent's. And he said, okay, grand. It's great to have our family involved as well. I suppose if the kids weren't as interested in it as we were, it'd be very tough on us.
Kieran's are playing Vincent's. The tension in the house is gas. Mum is obviously Vincent's and Dad is Kieran, so Mum always claims that she'll give John steak for dinner and she won't feed Kevin. But it's always a bit of a laugh, but I suppose no one takes it too seriously.
She had her hands full. She could have got the job as a bus driver. The amount of dropping off and picking up she did from matches around. Leaving some matches early to go to another match to make sure she got the end of that, or make sure we all got the same amount of attention. There was no favourites.
It means everything. I don't know what we do without it, to be fair. We eat, drink and sleep it.
It's always through the family like the rest of us. There's not enough supporting words, I'd say.
I know my whole life at this rate.
We're very proud parents. That's a huge achievement to have 100% of your family still playing. We're proud of them all, every one of them.
My name is Niamh Heatherton.
My name is John Heatherton. I'm Kieran Heatherton.
I'm Patsy Heatherton, and as a family,
our roots are set in the GAA.
Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
Welcome to Parnell Park for the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final between Kilmacud, Crokes and Fianna. We're just a couple of minutes away from throw-in. We've just seen Paul Mannion and Johnny Cooper go in for the toss of the coin with referee Darren Delaney. I'm Shane Stapleton, joined by Coleman Goggins here. We're looking at a Kilmacud Crokes team that are chasing a 4 in a row and beat Ballyboden after extra time in their quarter-final against an Fianna team that last got to a final in 2022, last won a title in 2001, that was their 5th, and beat Clontarf in their quarter-final. Coleman, what sort of game are you expecting?
Well, it's a bumper tie. Like you've two of the big, club names, I suppose, of Dublin playing in a semi-final. Both well able to get scores. Both obviously hoping to maybe go on and win a county title. From Kilmacud, obviously you mentioned it, they're looking for 4 in a row, which would be unprecedented. It'd be a great achievement for the club. But for Fianna, I guess, who've had this crop of young players that are coming through and building towards this crescendo, they're hoping to obviously to get to a first final. You see McCooley yesterday, the celebrations in terms of reaching a final for the first time in over 30 years. So
1988.
So for Fianna to get over the line will be a massive lift for the whole club and obviously the locality, and that's not taken away from Kilmacud Crokes, who obviously have been hugely successful. So what type of game are you expecting? Hard hitting, very physical, no quarter asks are given, because it's ultimately you're up against it today. 2 quality outfits taking each other on.
Yeah, and we'll go through the gamut of stars coming in this game. So we'll start off with the Kilmacud Crokes team. In the goals, Devin Burns, number 2 Dan O'Brien, fullback James Murphy, number 3, and Michael Mullen is number 4. There are a couple of changes on the Crokes team. One is that number 5 Cian O'Connor isn't starting, Craig Diaz will. Andrew McGowan is going to be centre back and Mark O'Leary wing back. Ben Shovlin and Rory O'Carroll make up the midfield pairing. Shane Horan was named as number 10, but he won't start. Paddy O'Connor is in his place. Paul Mannion will be centre forward, and Tom Fox was named number 12, but Theo Clancy, and he'll probably drift back down the field. He's a Dublin senior football panellist and has been suffering injury of late. And the full forward line is Hugh Kenny, Darren Mullen and Shane Walsh, of course, who scored 1-4 the last day coming.
Yeah, well, look, you're looking there at 3 changes, and it doesn't impact the team in any way. In some respects, you'd say it nearly adds strength to the team. So that's the power of what Kilmacud Crokes have in terms of the strength of their bench and the first 15 who take to the field. The guys who are missing out are going to be hoping to make an impression when they come in. The guys who are starting are getting an opportunity in a starting jersey, so they want to make an impression. So there's huge competition for places. Makes it very difficult for any fella to break in there and create a name for themselves, given the depth and talent within the squad.
Okay, well, we'll move on to the Fianna team, who in the goals is Dublin county panellist David O'Hanlon. Fullback line of Fiacre Potts, Owen O'D and Adam Rafter. Owen Merchant, Johnny Cooper and Tom Brennan make up a very dynamic half back line. Then James Dorn and Donal Ryan midfield. David Quinn, Brian O'Leary and David Lacey are the half forward line, and on the inside line, the danger line, Aaron Byrne wears number 13, Conor McHugh is 14 and Kieran Redden is 15. So plenty of scores up top coming.
Yeah, like littered with stars, in fairness to them. We'll pause for the national anthem.
Moments. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so many individual players who are brilliant on the Fianna side, and what they're starting to do now is knit together much more formidably as a team, and to win today they're really going to have to come together collectively.
Yeah, and looking at the 2 benches, plenty of quality that both management teams can call on. We're moments away from the start of the game here, and we've had plenty of rain in Dublin here today. There was a big downpour before the Whitehall Columkills victory in their Senior 2 semi-final against Plunkett's, but it did calm down for the most of the game. The pitch is holding up incredibly well here. It's a beautiful surface coming, but will be a frenetic opening, you'd imagine, here.
Yeah, just interesting looking. It looks like Michael Mullen maybe is picking up Conor McHugh inside in the full back line. So despite Theo Clancy starting, who's regularly their full back, looks like it'll be Michael Mullen who's doing the marking job on Conor McHugh.
Yeah, and Clancy seems to be on Aaron Byrne. Either way, the ball's thrown in by Darren Delaney, and up is number 9 Donal Ryan for Fianna, and they're on the front foot straight away. Ben Shovlin kicks inside, and it's Conor McHugh out in front. He's been tagged by Mullen, as you said, and he is surrounded by purple jerseys. And really good work there from Mark O'Leary. Rory O'Carroll, who's done it for so many years, and now Andrew McGowan. Bit of wrestling at this side of the pitch between Brian O'Leary and Ben Shovlin, but the game continues.
It just shows the physicality, the lift there. Conor McHugh's not not the weakest fella on the team by any stretch of the imagination, and he couldn't break through the physicality of the tackle there. Great defending on O'D.
Yeah, nicely spoiled away from Paddy O'Connor. Now Na Fianna with a chance to attack once more. O'Leary, ambitious kick pass inside that Redden feels. Redden has been stood up by the full-back James Murphy. The crowd certainly seem to like it. The umpires, bit of a late call. Eventually the umpire on the left-hand side decides to call that wide.
I think he was just going for that dramatic pause there, so we wouldn't know what was happening. X-factor-ish.
Quinn is putting pressure on Dan O'Brien, but Dan O'Brien stands up to it, and McGowan is able to carry the ball out. Not too much pressure being put on by David Lacey. And McGowan takes his man on. Man on man all over the pitch, Coleman.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm just looking inside at, Owen O'D and the full back line picking up Shane Walsh and doing the other job, Adam Rafter picking up Paul Mannion. So it'll be just interesting to see how it plays out. But man on man, no spare man, no sweepers. Win your battle.
Craig Diaz looks for a kick pass inside to Mannion, but it's cut out really well by OD. He's had a really good start to the game, but it'll be I thought it was going to be a 45, but the referee he's mid-discussion. There's a lot of pointing going on.
Yeah, the umpire waved away, but it certainly looked like a 45. It seemed to come off the boot of Owen O'D, who cut across there to get it out of the way. I think Paul Mannion was unhappy. He felt Rafter was impeding his run forward, but definitely Owen O'D got the last boot on it.
Yeah.
Gives Shane Walsh a free off the deck. But yeah, interesting. It's really, matching up, player on player. Back yourself, try and win your battle, and whoever wins the battle gives an opportunity to get out on top with the ball. Defensively, so far, O'D has cut out a couple of balls and has been backed up by Rafter.
Walsh is one of the silkiest players in the country, as everybody knows. This would be a big start for his team. 2.5 minutes on the board. He catches that sweetly, and that's over the bar. First blood to Kilmacud Crokes coming.
Yeah, lovely stroke with the ball by Shane Walsh to open the scoring for them. Bit of discussion around whether it was a 45 or not. Seemed clear to us. Nice start for Kilmacud Crokes.
It's a heavy enough press on David O'Hanlon, who looks to go over the top. And that's knocked down by O'Leary. And now Shovlin. So Crokes turn over that kick out. Mannion does well to get in front of Adam Rafter, and not for the first time goes for a kick pass inside Paddy O'Connor. And O'Connor's running at his man Fiacre Potts, winds out to his left foot and pops that straight over the bar. Excellent start for Kilmacud Crokes.
Yeah, great score there. Paul Mannion, dummy the run that dropped. I think Kilmacud, in their opening game, and I know it was early on, they conceded 3 goals against Skerries, and they totally shifted how they played after that. Defensively, looked like a touch on the ground. Referee lets it run on.
Yeah, and Aaron Byrne, he had the ball stripped away from him, but eventually he did enough to win a free. That was touched on the ground by Hugh Kenny. So Na Fianna with a little let off there. After going a couple of points behind against the 3-in-a-row champions, they didn't want to make it 3 points to 0.
Yeah, huge pressure on the ball carrier every time they come out. Crokes just dropping off now.
Na Fianna have 2 men inside the 6-yard box waiting for a delivery, looking to burst out, but it's a free out the field.
Not sure. I didn't see the free. He's indicating Hugh Kenny wrapped around him, but it looked like Rafter tried to spin in the turn and just lost his footing.
Merchant with the ball. Over the top for Brian O'Leary. He's been faced up by James Murphy. And a booming shot from David Lacey, but it's just not going to get there. It's in the middle of the D. And there's a real scramble for that ball. And it's Donald Ryan surrounded by purple jerseys once more. And now it's Mannion. With Darren Mullen winning the ball just before that. And again, they're looking for the kick pass inside, but Johnny Cooper eventually stops the ball, but it's a free now for Crokes.
You know, a little bit frenetic for Fianna at the minute. They just aren't settled on it. A great block by Johnny Cooper. Paul Mannion was trying to release the ball earlier. Great block, just was unlucky not to pick up the rebound.
And again, will the kick pass be looked for? It's greasy here. As I said earlier, there was plenty of rain earlier in the day, and that didn't help Ben Shovlin there when it hit the turf. And it's a turnover straight away. James Doran's unhappy that the free was not given, and now it's Walsh. Gets himself a mark.
And Kieran Redden came in a bit late into Paul Mannion. Referee just had a word back at him there when he spoke about it.
So Crokes have certainly settled. They haven't allowed Fianna to. And this could be 3-0 on the slightly weaker left foot of Shane Walsh.
I'll tell him you said that.
Slightly weaker, I said. But both feet are very, very gifted, and he does put that one over. 2 scores already for Shane Walsh, 145, 1 mark. And the referee is trotting down the field. He's unimpressed with what Redden had to say a little while ago.
No, it's not. After Paul Mannion got rid of the ball, I think they felt it was a foul. Paul Mannion got rid of the ball. Kieran Redden came in through the side, and as such, referee is just letting him know he spotted it. I'd say that's what the discussion is about.
With David O'Hanlon, he's facing a heavy enough press, and with the greasy turf that spins on to Donald Ryan. Kick pass on from Tom Brennan. And now Lacey's on the inside, and that's cut out really, really well by James Murphy. Darren Mullen has the ball now, and Crokes are on the counter-attack.
Yeah, just struggling to get their inside line going at the minute. Fianna need to get a score just to settle themselves. Crokes very comfortable at the minute, dealing with the pressure, dealing with the high press.
Hugh Kenny and Mark O'Leary. Kenny again. And now Mannion, who looks so composed on the ball. Theo Clancy, player who might make the step up with Dublin in the next season or so.
Yeah, probably unlucky not to see a bit of game time this year. I suppose you don't know what's going on within the camp, obviously, but he's certainly shown his capabilities over the couple of seasons with Kilmacud Crokes. Load a little off the ball, niggles going on. This guy has ended up on the floor, not quite sure what's happening half the time, but at the minute it's Crokes with 3 scores to nothing against Fianna, and Fianna who need to chase down the ball, get themselves on the board. Paddy O'Connor has shown great runs inside time and again.
Really nice work from Fiacre Potts to get a hand in. He goes once more, another swing, and manages to dislodge the ball from Shane Walsh. So that's excellent work from Potts, nice and physical, giving Crokes a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, well, you've got to meet fire with fire. You know, Kilmacud are obviously seasoned. They're going to come out, they're going to try and set the agenda, so you've got to match that to some degree and not allow them gain a minute of momentum. Just maybe take a step back to drive forward, if that makes sense, because they're just running a little bit frenetic at the minute. If you can slow down, just get a ball to somebody inside to get a score rather than trying to match the 100-mile-an-hour pace, because it's just not working for them at the moment.
So Ono D goes backwards to Merchant.
Yeah, so exactly what they're doing now, just taking a little bit of sting, trying to get guys on the ball, get a touch, see if you can create something.
David Quinn does well to back out of a challenge there from Paddy O'Connor.
And a gap that was narrowing by the second.
Now it's James Doran. Lacey's kick pass was half blocked down, and Murphy does enough to get in front of Redden. And overzealous in the tackling there.
Yeah, but he let some of that free go a little bit earlier, where there was 2 players around, someone with the ball, and Fianna were forcing to play the ball. So maybe the trick is to hold on to the ball and you might get something out of it. But Crokes so far defensively excellent.
And Diaz plays it forward and cut out well by Owen Merchant.
Yeah, raging, the bounce didn't stick there. You could see his frustration, but he got across in front of Darren Mullen.
Mullen to Paddy O'Connor, who started this game so well. Fires a diagonal over to Hugh Kenny. Kenny in a race with the sideline, and he gets there first. And Kenny running at Tom Brennan, and Brennan has held him up. And eventually Darren Delaney decides that Brennan holds on a little bit too long.
Yeah, and again, Paul Mannion, I think, feels his run was checked there this time by maybe David Lacey. He's accusing. Linesman has come in, but I'm not quite sure if he's seen anything. He might be just marking the spot for Shane Walsh. Yeah, he's having a chat with both players. You know, Mannion certainly the more frustrated that he's the one whose run was being impeded rather than the other way around, but you're always going to argue for your own case.
So we've already seen the quality of Shane Walsh's left foot, but Paul Mannion pulls rank on this occasion.
Maybe just the narrower angle, he might fancy it. Look, I mentioned just the first day out that Kilmacud Crokes had against Skerries, where they conceded goals and they were conceding space. They've been brilliant up until today as well. First 10-15 minutes, as we're seeing here.
And you can tell straight away by the noise from the crowd that one is over the bar. An incredible score from Paul Mannion from the sideline. That's 4 points to 0. Kilmacud Crokes are humming early on, and Fianna badly need a score with 11.5 minutes gone.
Yeah, they're just struggling to get into the game, and there's only one from play. They've a 45 and 2 frees, but just Kilmacud better when they're getting up front, getting on the ball to create a chance.
And that one clears everybody and goes out over the sideline. Crokes will have the line ball. It's Dara Mullen. That's Mark O'Leary inside to Rory O'Carroll. Shane Walsh shows for it, but Merchant gets there first. This time it does stick to him. Aaron Byrne. A little foul off the ball. But will follow Conor McHugh. And McHugh with the right foot and clips the outside of the post and wide. So disappointing for McHugh and for Fianna. The referee had a bit of a word with Shane Walsh because he seemed to connect with Owen Merchant as that ball was being flicked away.
Yeah, I think it was Shane Walsh certainly left one on Owen Merchant just as they ran past each other there. I'm not sure it was overly physical, but certainly Owen Merchant felt the brunt of it. You would have expected Conor McHugh to tap that one over to at least get Fianna up and running at this stage in the game.
Darren Delaney is checking in with Owen Merchant, and the physio is still nearby.
Fianna have done that well. They've cut across a couple of times, so he's going to ask him to leave the field because he's got some treatment on the field, which is the
regulation
rule.
now, which means that Fianna will be a man down for this kick out, and they drop off and allow Rory O'Carroll to come and take the ball. With all the talent coming through in Crokes the last number of years, O'Carroll maintaining his place as he gets that bit older.
Remarkable that his consistency. He's never once, he was away for a few years there, but he's never once shirked away from playing for the club. He's been a brilliant representative, brilliant server for them, and just keeps drilling it out. Doesn't matter what number he has on his back, full back, centre back, midfield. He gives it 100% every time.
So McGowan, yet again, Crokes look to play a kick pass inside. Paddy O'Connor out in front once more. Turns and unleashes a shot which goes wide on this occasion. So after scoring their first 4 attempts, finally a wide for Kilmacud Crokes.
Yeah, just they're better composed on the ball up front than the Fianna have managed. They're putting huge pressure on. They get bodies behind the ball. So while we're saying it's man on man,
and Rory O'Carroll is bear hugged in the air by David Lacey.
Should be brought forward. No.
So the kick out's not working so far for Fianna.
No, because it is man on man, but then as soon as it drops off, Kilmacud are filtering back, and their work rate is phenomenal. There's huge pressure put on the ball carrier as soon as they get an opportunity to apply it.
Shane Walsh to Paddy O'Connor. He has one already, missed his last attempt. Works his way across the D, pulls the trigger, and straight over the bar.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit concerned at the ease of that. A couple of dummy bounces or dummy solos, for want of a better way of phrasing it, and after 50 minutes Paddy O'Connor pretty much waltzes across the D and kicks it over the bar. So Fianna not getting tight enough or physical enough. Great work again, ferocious work right from Kilmacud.
Yeah, Fiacre Potts is stripped off the ball and Hugh Kenny wins a free, and Fianna are all at sea in these opening minutes.
Yeah, and we were saying about the kick out, in fairness to Dave O'Hanlon, he went short that time and they still don't manage to work it out. 3 Kilmacud Crokes players converged on Fiacre Potts. They turn over the ball and they're on the move straight away again. Overcooked.
This time it's going to drain out over the end line. Andrew McGowan didn't quite get his angles right that time.
I think the Fianna just need to change things up a little bit. That, you know, they're still set in their formation. They probably need to, you know, drop a few bodies back just to take a little bit of the space out of the game for Kilmacud Crokes, because it's a little bit too easy for them at the minute. Not physical enough in my view.
Yeah, that kick out didn't go fully to plan. It eventually breaks for Fianna, man, but even watching it wide, there isn't full respite because they know Crokes are going to push up on the restart. It's Merchant now. He doesn't have too much to aim at in front of him. They're all the way back to Owen O'D. That's Aaron Byrne. He's been chased by Craig Diaz. He goes at Diaz, checks back. Eventually it's a shooting attempt for number 12 David Lacey, and it's taken over 16 minutes, but eventually Fianna, they're on the board, and a really fine strike from David Lacey.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt they have the talent to get those type of scores. They just struggled to create the opportunity for them to be taken. Conor McHugh certainly should have had one before now, but David Lacey gets them up and running. Now the question is, can you squeeze the kick out and get a second score?
Devin Byrne goes long and Ben Shovlin gets his hand on it. And now it's Mannion, who's always looking to get that kick pass in if he can. And it squirts away from Hugh Kenny under pressure from Fia Krapotz.
Yeah, and you can see that just the difference, the space that's inside that time, because Kilmacud Crokes have guys back, but they're still looking to hit that space. When it turns the other way, it's just not happening for Fianna up front at the minute. Great run.
Nice ball from James Doran to Brian O'Leary, who's running at Theo Clancy, and maybe he drags Clancy down on top of him, but the referee has decided that it is a free for Fianna.
Yeah, Theo Clancy might go into the book here because, you know, there's a chance there that he gets away and creates a goal or a scoring opportunity. No referee is happy enough to let it run.
You feel sorry for the defender in that situation? He is sort of half dragged down by the forward also.
Yeah, there was the old, that, you know, grab the arm as you're falling and try and bring someone with you, but from the referee's perspective, all he can see is it looks like Theo Clancy is above on his back there. But, you know, just gives Fianna a chance to settle things down a little bit. They've struggled for 50 minutes to really get hands on the ball and create anything. You're heading into the 18th minute there. You know, fourth shot at goal is you know, just inside the 45-metre line for a shot from David O'Hanlon, maybe for fifth shot at goal.
Yeah, Fianna missed their first two attempts at target. Now will it be two in a row in the space of 2 minutes? The umpire certainly says yes. So after a really shaky start to the game where they went 5-0 behind, Fianna have scored 2 in a row and still just 3 points in it, so they've steadied the ship.
Yeah, great strike from David O'Hanlon there. Just, you know, glides through the ball, drives it straight. Here's a press chance here.
And a little bit over eager from Owen Merchant because Roy O'Carroll was going to be under pressure there.
David Quinn penalised yards for standing in front of the free kick, just trying to slow things down a little bit. So just interesting to see now if Fianna pulls some bodies behind the ball here to try and, you know, block up a little bit of space.
Clancy's under a bit of pressure from Aaron Byrne, but he has McGowan offering. Goalkeeper Devin Burns behind him. Fianna tell him on you go, not putting pressure on him. Eventually David Quinn comes across, and now there's a decision to make for Burns. And Redden probably goes in a little bit too hard, and he's suggesting to the referee that the goalkeeper leaned into the tackle.
Yeah, maybe, but you could see the fear in the eyes of Devin Burns there. He was thinking I'm under a bit of pressure here, so he probably got off lightly.
It's McGowan. He's been pressured by Aaron Byrne, and Craig Diaz gives him an out. Now it's Mannion. He looked to make something happen. Clancy and Diaz exchange passes. Nice delay from Diaz, and Paddy O'Connor has a chance once more. And spins Cooper, but he's done for overcarrying.
Yeah, Johnny Cooper was fairly certain he wasn't going to take him on his left side. He kept trying to check back onto his right, managed to see him off a couple of times, then managed to do him for overcarrying. Fianna just have managed to turn over. There was a ball on the sideline with Hugh Kenny, Paddy O'Connor overcarrying there, so just gives him an opportunity to build a bit of momentum. Really struggle to get into this first half, but slowly gaining a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, we're 20 minutes in now. In this Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final, Coola awaiting the final. They're in that in the decider for the first time since 1988. Having beaten Ballymun Kickham's yesterday. Merchant has Mark O'Leary for company. Tom Brennan bursts through a tackle, finds a nice little hand pass inside to Adam Rafter. Rafter with a chance now from the edge of the D, but he very quickly looks away from that. It was an ugly finish and it goes to the left and wide.
Yeah, I think is the referee given an advantage? He might be looking to speak to somebody for an off the ball piece. Paul Mannion has been spoken to. Rory O'Carroll.
Yeah, it's Mannion.
Yeah, I think Paul Mannion can find himself unlucky here. There's been a lot going on, and the referee has probably just got sick and tired, and Paul Mannion is the one who's going to suffer from it. He definitely tried to stop the run. He was very physical in the tackle. Maybe he deemed it was a high arm, which he seems to be indicating as he's speaking to him.
Brian O'Leary seemed to be giving his tuppence worth there as well. The ref wasn't interested, but Darren Delaney does show the yellow card to Paul Mannion, so he's the first man in the book today. Now Burns, after that ropey moment out the field a little while ago, how does he get on with this kick out? That's a really nice one again to Rory O'Carroll.
I think he's landed all his kickouts, in fairness to him.
And Mark O'Leary with players shown in front. It's Hugh Kenny and Fiacre Potts. Kenny's unseated for a moment, but does well to get the ball back, but it's going to break for a 50-50. And really good work, and you never expect the flag on the sideline to tackle you, but that's what James Doran has had to deal with, and he's still battling to get on that ball, and eventually it's spilled away. James Murphy has it, taking on 3 or 4 men and a sideline flag.
Yeah, probably the best tackle we've seen in Parnell Park. Very unlucky that he took the flag with him. He looked like he got in the way there. I'm not sure if he was potentially fouled in one of the instances there that maybe led to him, losing out on the ball, but I think the injury has probably come about as the way he's gone to ground rather than anything else. But gives people, to draw a breath. Like Kilmacud have been excellent there for the first 20 minutes. The pace, the power, the tackling that they've, contributed in the opening 20 minutes. They've been very good from a defensive point of view, how they're set up. They've been very good in attacking when they're moving out into space. They're looking to find the ball very early. And Fianna, when you think of their inside line, Darren Byrne, Conor McHugh, they just struggle to get those guys on the ball to try and give them opportunities. That said, you're 23 minutes on the clock. It's only 3 points in the game, despite the fact that Fianna haven't played particularly well.
So 5 points to 2 here after 23 minutes. Doran will have to head to the sideline because he's been given some treatment. He's holding his shoulder, but he looks like he's okay. Doesn't look in much distress. Michael Mullen will get play underway once more. In fact, it was Dan O'Brien back to Mullen. Mark O'Leary now. And Diaz, and that ball was put into a dangerous zone, and it's been turned over by Brennan. And then it's a hit by Rory O'Carroll on Ono D, and there's pandemonium here. There's plenty of roaring from the crowd and on the pitch.
Yeah, it'd be just interesting how the referee assesses this. It looked like he maybe crossed over his body and tripped him, so is there potentially a black card in it? So maybe he's just checking that with his linesmen. There was a breakout, so you're going to certainly get a yellow card for stopping the play, in which the momentum that the Fianna were trying to build. And Ono D had broken the line there if he gets through that tackle. So the question is it yellow or black? And that's dependent on the referee's interpretation of whether he hit him with a shoulder or was it a trip or brought him to ground. So it's a yellow.
It's a yellow card, yeah. Rory O'Carroll, no stranger to putting the body on the line over the years. A yellow card worth taking as a player?
Well, I mean, from a coaching perspective, you're looking out going, it was definitely a one to stop because of the momentum the Fianna were building on the back of that. From an attacking point of view, you're absolutely furious because you're breaking out and you've struggled maybe to create those breaks, and that's what the Fianna thrive off, those quick turnovers.
O'D again, he's okay after that hit. He mightn't be after going into traffic, but Kenny probably just goes a little bit high.
Yeah, Hugh Kenny might find himself in the book because he's been involved in a couple of tackles, so referee could decide to have a chat with him. He might leave him go. He will. Yeah, it's all a little bit messy now. We had a great 15 minutes. It was frenetic, it was pacey, but now there's a little bit of a squeeze coming on in around the middle of the field, so it's all gone a little bit messy. Tackle's a bit loose.
Byrne probably haven't seen the best of Na Fianna in an attacking sense so far. Is that down to Crokes or down to Na Fianna?
Yeah, I think it's down to Crokes and that how they've set up, and Na Fianna haven't been able to break it down. I guess from an attacking point of view, you've got to break down what's brought to you from a defensive point of view, and right up to now they haven't been able to do that.
Conor McHugh, he could pull a rabbit out of a hat, but he has to go backwards. Aaron Byrne has all day, and he's got a lot of trouble in front of him, so he backs out.
Purple, every time you look up it's purple bodies, like, you know, that's a great ball, creates a little bit of space.
Yeah, Lacey now to and it's turned over really, really well by Dara Mullen. So Na Fianna had a chance to get a shot away and instead give the ball to Crokes, and it's a free for Paul Mannion. Yeah, at the top end of the pitch, Johnny Cooper and Paddy O'Connor really getting to know each other, as they say over the years, that great euphemism.
Yeah, we mentioned at the outset, no quadrasta given, Dublin Championship semi-final. There's a big, final place on the line, so you can't afford to take a step back. Oh, great tackle, unlucky. Well done, Hugh Kenny.
Yeah, Tom Brennan putting the pressure on, and Kenny manages to get it back to Paul Mannion and leaves the arm in a little bit too long. Shovlin now. Back to Mannion once more. He's always looking to see if he can get that kick pass in there.
Yeah, and Paddy O'Connor is inside giving a wave that he's looking for one maybe over the top if he can get it. So I'd say, watch out for that. It could happen because he's looking for it, and Paul Mannion certainly is capable of finding him. There's so much going on behind the referee. He's turning, looking the other way. He's not even watching where the football is.
Now McGowan, he has space to run into, and nobody's fully come to him just yet. Now he's in traffic, and not the greatest pass, and Hugh Kenny pulls the trigger on the spin, but that comes a little bit short. So Na Fianna are able to build from the back, and they've worked this out nicely. Potts out to the right wing where David Quinn I should say, is there. He has options inside, but instead he might take on Theo Clancy, and he looks for Conor McHugh, who's running at a couple of defenders, but it's a free for a late hit by Dan O'Brien on David Quinn, I should say.
Yeah, I think David Quinn shovelled off the ball, and I think Dan Quinn stepped across him. He's claiming that he ran into him, didn't mean to do anything by it. But if it's a third man tackle again, it's potentially black card, but it'll probably end up being a yellow. Maybe he's gone over to have a chat with the linesman. Look, there is so much happening across the field. Every time you look, there's somebody else picking themselves off the ground, so there's a lot of contact going on off the ball, and it's impossible for the referee to keep an eye on everything. Be interesting to see if the linesman has spotted some of the stuff that's been going on behind the ball. Yeah, I think he could potentially be looking for Johnny Cooper here.
So it's 5 points to 2 here after 28 minutes, and Darren Delaney is going looking for Johnny Cooper. It will be a free for Na Fianna. Conor McHugh is standing over it. Yeah,
there was, as Na Fianna were breaking out there, there's probably the linesman is saying that Johnny Cooper stepped across someone and impeded maybe the track back in terms of a run. So again, interesting to see.
Maybe the wrestling with Paddy O'Connor as well.
Yeah, no, it was after that. Yeah, black card.
Black card.
That,
that is huge.
Yeah.
28 and a half minutes gone here, and a black card for Johnny Cooper. So it'll be a free at the other end for Conor McHugh, and that would take the edge off that blow a little bit.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. There was definitely a contact. I didn't see how it happened, but it was definitely Dara Mullen who was picking himself off the ground.
And a fine strike from Conor McHugh. That makes it 5 points to 3.
Yeah, I think it's you have what you hold now for the Fianna. I think they probably need to concede the kick out, drop back the field, and shore it up, and not concede, a big score before half time.
And in light of the hit that Rory O'Carroll put in midfield a little while ago, when you were wondering if it could have been a black card, maybe the Fianna will feel doubly aggrieved.
Yeah, and again, you just wonder, and I'm not, clearly I am questioning decisions, but Dan O'Brien, the free was given there. Was that for stepping across a third man tackle? If that's what Johnny Cooper was done for, was Johnny Cooper done for tripping? We don't know. Either way, there's a black card. They have to cope with it for 10 minutes. The gap down to 2. The big thing is, don't concede a big score now before half time. Give yourself a chance to come out. The flip side is, Crokes have a player up. They've been brilliant at using the space inside. Can they find a couple of scores before the break?
No better team than Kilmacud Crokes to use the spare man and make the pitch as wide as possible. Na Fianna have everyone more or less inside their own half of the field. At this point they do.
Michael Mullen now picking himself off the ground.
Mannion being chased by Conor McHugh. And he has a shot that drops in or around the edge of the D, and it's probably going to bounce out over the end line. Darren Mullen gets a hand to it, but it does go wide. When you've got a man up and you've, just coming towards half time, would you expect the team to be a bit more patient, especially a player of that experience?
Yeah, well, look, you can't question Paul Mannion given the scores he does manage to return when he does get on the ball like that. I suppose from a refereeing perspective, every time we look, the linesman is holding his microphone, the referee is listening to what's been said to him, so there's a huge amount of stuff happening out there. Even look at the quality of the scores, there's only been a small number have come from play. It's frees, a couple of 45s, touched on the ground now.
No, but Na Fianna do get away. They've been struggling with their kickouts, but they have it and they're working it out now. Doran.
It's absolutely frenetic, and hence that's why everything is just happening all around us, and it's impossible to see everything that's going on.
Lacey, who has 1 point to his name, and Na Fianna would like to work a scoring opportunity going in before half time, but they certainly don't want to give one to Crokes. Fiacre Potts is running forward. He doesn't have too many options. Lacey is outside him, an ambitious left-footed strike, and the umpire eventually waves that one wide. So Na Fianna no luck this time.
Yeah, 4 wides, despite the fact they haven't been in the game, they have left a couple of chances behind them. Kilmacud probably the ones just need to kind of just reassess where they're at. They were so good in the opening 15-20 minutes, they've just dropped off a little bit, and that's because Na Fianna have raised their game. They've changed their setup a little bit defensively. They're conceding a kick out and therefore blocking that little bit of space that was out in front of the 45 that Kilmacud were working so well in. It's a different setup now, heading towards half time. Now can Crokes pull out a score just to open up the gap a little bit? Na Fianna will be delighted. The longer this runs on into the first half, it eats away at that 10 minutes of a black card that Johnny Cooper is serving.
And another player ends up on the floor. It's Paul Mannion against Rafter, and Rafter's on the floor. So ostensibly they're down 13 men, and Darrell Mullen comes inside. Eventually the ball ends up in the back of the net. Really nice finish first time by Mark O'Leary, and that is a dagger to the heart of Na Fianna coming into the break.
Yeah, and that was the score I was talking about. The one you didn't want to concede was the goal. The referee is telling them to get up. There's somebody coming in to have a look. There was definitely a contact again the far side of the field. Looked like it was Paul Mannion that was involved, but what level of contact I'm not quite sure, but he certainly took out the defender that was there, whatever way it happened over that side of the field. But great movement by Kilmacud Crokes, just those quick little hands. Looked like the goal chance was gone as it came across in front of the goal, but got to manage to stick a boot on it. Mark O'Leary to send it into the net.
Yeah, brilliant finish from O'Leary. The ball played across by Darren Mullen, and certainly there was some form of contact between Paul Mannion and Adam Rafter, who were stuck to each other. And we already know that Na Fianna were down one man with the black card to Johnny Cooper, a key defender back there, and then a second one to be more or less taken out of the play. No better team than Crokes to punish you.
Yeah, well, again, that's what we said. For Na Fianna it was a case of don't concede a big score, but fair play to Kilmacud Crokes. They know they've a player up, they know they've a body to create something with, and that's what they did. They raced after that bit of space, created a couple of passes that led to the overlap, and then they stick one in the back of the net. So instead of going in 5-3 or potentially 5-4, you're 1-5-3, and the gap is there now for Na Fianna to make up.
Yeah, absolutely. So 1-5-3 at half time here at Croke Park. We've had a couple of technical difficulties with the stream, so we will be restarting a fresh stream, so keep an eye out for that on the Dublin GAA channels, on the YouTube or wherever you are watching it. But so far, first half, it started off all Kilmacud Crokes. They went 5-0 ahead in the first quarter. Then Na Fianna took over, scoring 3 of their own. Black card for Johnny Cooper, and then that dagger from Mark O'Leary just before half time. So 1-5-3, and we're going to start a fresh stream, so keep an eye on that for the second half.